Okay, so this is the tentative overview of the evening sessions. Those will be happening on every Tuesday up to October 12th. Uh, and these are the dates. The link has been shared with you. The Google Meet link will be joining on that on every Tuesday at this time. Okay. So there are five doubt clearing or assignment or interactive sessions in the month of August. There are four sessions in September and there are three sessions in the month of October. So let's start the week one session of Water Economics and Governance course. The course code is CE86, right? Okay. Welcome everybody. Now this is the where are we? We are at the day one or week one of the session. Okay. So first of all, let's see a video together. The video is on the water demand in Gulf countries. It is specially based on the United Arab Emirates. How they are tackling with the water demand and the challenges with water treatment in their country. So let's have a watch together. So I will play it for you. But if you have any problem with the sound, then please unmute yourself and talk. Is it playing? I guess. So are you able to hear the sound?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Of the video, okay.
If you try to drink water from the ocean, it will be salty. It will dehydrate you and eventually kill you. This is why no one drinks ocean water. But what happens when you have nothing else left to drink? See, I am now in one of the driest countries in the world, the Emirates. It's a country with very little water. It has 0 rivers, it rains 10 days a year, it is surrounded by salty ocean water, and 90% of its groundwater is also salty. In other words, 10 million people live in the desert with not enough water to drink, not for humans or animals. This isn't just the Emirates. 99% of the world's water cannot be drunk. It's just too salty or too frozen. But for the first time ever, I want to show you the step-by-step process of how this country found water. The first thing they did is collect the only water they have, ocean water. Then they built this. Tens of these factories that specialize in one thing, removing salt from water. They take the ocean water, pressure it, and put it through a filter that does not allow salt to enter. Salty water goes in here, and fresh water exits from here. This is a crazy complicated process. Every day, not thousands, not millions, billions of liters of waters are cleaned this way. Every day, billions of liters of ocean water enter salty and leaves clean. Now, 90% of the entire country's water comes from the ocean. It is the highest in the world. Okay, so we're here at a farm in the middle of the desert, and I have this. This water came straight from the ocean, and it was desalinated in the process, and now you can use it to actually, feed the animals, feed the plants, and it's very cool, it's very warm, and it's very drinkable. That's magic! The next thing they did is even crazier. Instead of cleaning water, they created new water. And this is a true story. They sent planes all the way to the clouds and released salt in the air. They have a lot of it. Because of the salt, the clouds grow bigger and bigger, and eventually they rain fresh water into the country. This is called cloud seeding, and in 2017, they did it almost every single day. And when that water falls to the ground, they catch it. All the rainwater they collect here by building a huge dam. And this fresh water is what keeps the people alive. I don't think people appreciate this enough. But this water is fresh water, it's rainwater, that was supposed to go to the ocean and become salty. But they caught it before it went to the ocean in the middle of a dam, and they made this lake. But most importantly, you can drink this water. From desalination to cloud seeding to dam building to well building, humans are doing the impossible just to find water. And the big idea here is simple. If we have to go and seed clouds and do all this complicated stuff, the least we can do is save water when we can and turn off that water sink.
Okay, so hope people enjoyed watching it. So as it is the first session, I will not be asking too many tough questions, or not giving you very tough assignments to solve, but simple assignments and simple questions will be given, and also I will demonstrate the solving process in due course of time. So as we all saw that video, in that video, at the beginning of that video, it was told that dehydration occurs due to drinking of the sea water, right?
The video was not visible, sir. Video was not shared.
Excuse me. Okay.
Yes, only sound was there, no video.
Oh, you saw the sound and video was not clear.
Yes,
No, sir.
sound was absolutely clear.
Okay. Okay, so you could have, unmuted yourself and talked in the middle. No issues. I will replay it for you. But let me see whether there is some chat in the chat box or not. I cannot see any chat coming up. Okay, so is somebody able to type? Okay, video is not visible. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't look into the chat box. Okay. I'll replay it for you. Is the problem? Is anyone there who was able to see the video? Okay, I guess not. Okay, I'll replay it for you. Sorry about that.
If you try to drink water from the ocean, it will be salty. It will dehydrate you and eventually kill you.
So Are you able to, you can type in the chat box. Are you able to watch last time? What are you able to watch?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. If you are not, please, because while playing the video, I cannot see the chat box. So you can unmute yourself and talk. That it is, if the video is not being played.
If you try to drink water from the ocean, it will be salty. It will dehydrate you and eventually kill you. This is why no one drinks ocean water. But what happens when you have nothing else left to drink? See, I am now in one of the driest countries in the world, the Emirates. It's a country with very little water. It has 0 rivers, it rains 10 days a year, it is surrounded by salty ocean water, and 90% of its groundwater is also salty. In other words, 10 million people live in the desert with not enough water to drink, not for humans or animals. This isn't just the Emirates. 99% of the world's water cannot be drunk. It's just too salty or too frozen. But for the first time ever, I want to show you the step-by-step process of how this country found water. The first thing they did is collect the only water they have, ocean water. Then they built this. Tens of these factories that specialize in one thing, removing salt from water. They take the ocean water, pressure it, and put it through a filter that does not allow salt to enter. Salty water goes in here, and fresh water exits from here. This is a crazy complicated process. Every day, not thousands, not millions, billions of liters of waters are cleaned this way. Every day, billions of liters of ocean water enter salty and leaves clean. Now, 90% of the entire country's water comes from the ocean. It is the highest in the world. Okay, so we're here at a farm in the middle of the desert, and I have...
I'll take a pause and to look at the chat box whether there is any problem. The screen was not okay, so I guess now it is visible, right, to everyone? Okay, I will take it for a yes.
Yes, it was visible.
Okay, okay.
Bigger and okay, so we're here at a farm in the middle of the desert, and I have this. This water came straight from the ocean, and it was desalinated in the process, and now you can use it to actually, feed the animals, feed the plants, and it's very cool, it's very warm, and it's very drinkable. That's magic! The next thing they did is even crazier. Instead of cleaning water, they created new water. And this is a true story. They sent planes all the way to the clouds and released salt in the air. They have a lot of it. Because of the salt, the clouds grow bigger and bigger, and eventually they rain fresh water into the country. This is called cloud seeding, and in 2017, they did it almost every single day. And when that water falls to the ground, they catch it. All the rainwater they collect here by building a huge dam. And this fresh water is what keeps the people alive. I don't think people appreciate this enough. But this water is fresh water, it's rainwater, that was supposed to go to the ocean and become salty. But they caught it before it went to the ocean in the middle of a dam, and they made this lake But most importantly, you can drink this water. From desalination to cloud seeding to dam building to well building, humans are doing the impossible just to find water. And the big idea here is simple. If we have to go and seed clouds and do all this complicated stuff, the least we can do is save water when we can and turn off that water sink.
So the video is taken from NAS Daily. Now, I guess it was visible because some of the following questions will be coming from that only. Okay. So, is there any? No chat, I guess. Okay. Okay. So, at the beginning of the video, we saw that yeah, actually that man talked about dehydration due to drinking the seawater, right? So, my question is now to all of you is which of the following processes is responsible for getting dehydrated by drinking salt water? So, option 1 is osmosis, option 2 is reverse osmosis, option 3 is phagocytosis, and option 4 is endocytosis. So, what you can do, you can take a pen and paper with yourself, or if you know the answer, just you can keep in mind, or you can type in the chat box.
Reverse osmosis, second number.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'll look at the chat box. Okay. So I will be taking the attendance at the midway. And we will be taking a around 5 to 7 or 10 minutes break at the middle. Okay. So how can one simultaneously see the chat and also play the slides? That in a way, I don't know. Maybe I'm presenting my entire screen. So instead of presenting my entire screen, if I just present the slide, will it be? Okay, let me play my slide only. It is not so. Yeah. Here I get it. Okay. So now you can see my slide, right? Okay, one people has said it is reverse osmosis. So any other guess? Osmosis is the correct answer. Okay. So what is that actually? Let me explain. So the thing is that there are actually different types of membranes. Some membranes are impermeable, so water or solid molecules cannot pass through them. Some membranes are semi-permeable. So only the solvent molecules can pass through them, solid molecules cannot pass. Some membranes are selectively permeable. So solvent molecules as well as certain solute molecules can pass through them. And some membranes are completely permeable, just like big pores of sheaves. So both the solid molecules and solvent molecules can pass through that membrane. So the thing is that in case of osmosis, naturally the water flows from the solvent region to the solute region, and if the that is called from the high low concentration region, the water flows to the high concentration region. And in case of reverse osmotic flow, external pressure is applied at the high concentration site, and solvent molecules passes through that membrane from the high concentration site to the low concentration site. This reverse osmosis process is not a natural phenomenon. Actually, this is employed by human beings, engineers, to desalinate the water. Just like we saw in the earlier video, in the Gulf countries where fresh water is scarce, there they use the sea water and they desalinate the water using reverse osmosis. So many people might have known this thing, but many may not know. So just for and some of its aspects are also there in 10th and 12th syllabus. So just for if people remember it, so it is just for recall. Now in biological cells, actually what happens, if we keep the cell membrane or the cell wall is basically either semi permeable or selectively permeable. So if we keep that cell inside a solution, depending on the competitive concentration between the inside of the cell and the outside of the cell. So for example, water or sugar is dissolved inside the cell also and outside the cell also, but the inside concentration is higher than the outside concentration, or the inside concentration is same as the outside concentration, or it may so happen that the inside concentration is lower than the outside concentration. So all the three cases, three different things happen. So whenever the outside concentration of the cell is equal to the inside concentration of the cell, then the solution within which the cell is there, it is called the isotonic solution. If the solution outside is highly concentrated and the inside concentration of the cell is lower than the outside, then the solution that is there outside, it is called the hypertonic solution, or the cell is in hypertonic condition. And when the outside concentration is lower than the inside sugar or salt or whatever concentration inside the cell, then the cell is called to be in hypertonic condition or in hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution. So what happens that when the solution is hypotonic, the water goes in through the semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane or cell wall. The water goes inside the cell, and the cell actually gets hydrated. But what happens when we drink seawater? It is salty, and when it comes into contact with our bodily cells, then as the outside concentration is lower, as we saw in the earlier slide. So here the water is going from the low concentration to the high concentration. So but if the outside concentration is high, then the inside concentration is lower. So in that case, our body is just like the right side of the this picture. So and this side is just like the outside condition. So outside salt concentration, seawater is higher than our body concentration. That time the water goes outside and our body gets dehydrated. Fair enough. So if somebody has any question or difficulty in understanding, if somebody wants to add on something, then also they can unmute themselves and talk. Okay, so let me check whether there is any question in the chat box or not. Okay. Okay, so someone has said it is endocytosis. We'll come into that. Actually, endocytosis and exocytosis are processes by which water can go water or any material can go inside or outside of the cell. If it is water, it is called pinocytosis. If it is material, it is called phagocytosis. So this is not entirely related with water economics and governance. I just gave just for your knowledge, I told that. So let's continue. So at the end of the video, we saw that sometimes cloud seeding is done. So they are with the help of a plane, certain chemicals are sprayed on the atmosphere. Okay. So the thing is that there is a particular condition of the cloud for precipitation to occur. So that chemical induces the condition in the cloud. This phenomenon is called cloud seeding, which helps in raining. So it is a process that involves the introduction of various chemical agents, as I told, into the clouds to enhance the chances of precipitation. Okay. So in India, recently on June 22nd, last month, which one of the following institutes has undertaken a significant test flight with the aim of cloud seeding? Option 1 is IIT Bombay, option 2 is IIT Kanpur, option 3 is IIT Kharagpur, and option D is ISC Bangalore. Okay, so you can unmute
IIT
yourself.
Kanpur.
Okay, yeah, correct answer. So it is true that IIT Kanpur has conducted
So I have a doubt.
yes.
So can you tell the name of chemical which they use for cloud seeding? Like,
Actually, it is salt with different kinds of, because what happens that there is in chemical engineering there are certain phenomena which is actually it is called I mean vapor pressure. There is a concept of vapor pressure. Whenever the atmosphere which is holding that cloud becomes saturated with the exactly name of the chemical, I don't know. I will come up with that name uh, to you in the latter. But what happens that the phenomena I am explaining. Chemical
Can I name the chemical, sir?
Okay, I'll come up with the name in the next session. Currently, I am not having that name. Okay.
Excuse me, can I name the chemical?
Yeah. You can.
Yeah, it's silver iodide actually.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that information. And the thing is that if somebody wants to add on something, they can unmute themselves and talk, because it is just an interactive session. So yes, it is highly appreciated, and actually the questions will be addressed in the next session, whichever doubt you will be having in the current session. Okay. So now let's go to the next session. Maybe silver iodide may be one of the many chemicals, and I didn't complete the thing. So what happens that whenever the atmosphere is having certain that is called your capacity for holding the water molecules. So whenever precipitation occurs, that is the capacity of holding moisture of the cloud of the atmosphere becomes saturated. That there is a threshold limit actually. So the chemicals, what it does, there are actually basically two types of chemicals. One mixes the water, and it actually increases its pressure, so, so that it reaches its threshold limit. And another type of chemical, what it does, it decreases the water holding capacity of the air. So I think silver iodide is the first type of chemical, but I am not sure. I will check it and come up with the answer in the next session. Okay. So now we will solve some problem on demand and supply of water. Sometimes this type of chart is shared where the per capita water supply and its recommended levels for designing different water supply schemes are given. So number one, towns provided with piped water supply but without sewage system. Here the recommended maximum water supply level is 70 liter per capita per day. And number two is cities provided with piped water supply where sewerage system is existing but contemplated. There the recommended water supply level is given here as 135. It may be different, it is just a sample case. And in case of metropolitan and mega cities provided with piped water supply where sewerage system is existing or contemplated, there the recommended maximum water levels is 150. So it is just a sample for solving the further problems. You can take a pause and look at what is written. That if you just introspect here, you will see that the where the sewerage system is not present, there the recommended maximum water supply level is lower than the other cases. Why? Because you can see that if you are recycling the water from either from sewage system, or you are either you may uh, what is called the rainwater harvesting, these kinds of projects adds on to the water supply of the existing system of the of a city. So what municipalities do during their water planning or during designing the supply works, supply pipe works, and so they say design, they do design in such a way that the source of the water is taken care along with the demand. So it is not like that say demand is very high and we don't have any source, proper source to meet that demand. So in that cases the recommended level will be taking care of that. So it is not completely based on demand, and it is not completely based on supply. So both are taken care while designing such water distribution systems. So now let us come to the problem. The data given here is that first is the type of the city. So the city is here, this city is provided with piped water supply where sewerage system is existing. The population for a community is 8,000. The source of the water is surface water, and only suspended and bacterial impurities are present in the surface water that needs to be treated to meet the demand of the city, and the number of working hours of the treatment plant per day is given as 18. Okay, so here are the questions. You have to determine, number 1, the total water demand, number 2, the water that needs to be sent for treatment, and number 3, treatment train with membrane processes. I will discuss that later. And lastly, we have to decide the number of modules required if flow rate per module is 120 lph, means liter per hour. Okay, so fair enough. So I will be taking the answer either. First of all, let's discuss the first one. So what is the total water demand? Given the data above and also at the previous slide, can somebody tell? So it is very easy and straightforward, I think.
It's 10,80,000.
The total water demand. Okay, so I have not told you the unit.
It's LP
It is
liters per
LPCD basically.
LPCD.
So based on this unit, it is basic as the city, as I told earlier, that this city is provided with sewerage system is existing, and the liter per capita per day water supply level, recommended water supply level is 135. So the answer of the one is pretty straightforward. It is 135 LPCD. Now the water to be because the here the water, because there is no other data provided, here we can assume that the recommended maximum supply levels is based on the demand only. Now water to be sent for treatment, so let's calculate this one. So I will pause for 2 minutes. You can use this formula: population for a community into per capita demand. Per capita means per head. Simple, straightforward.
Sir, actually, total water demand in liters may be expected. So we will have to multiply 135 by 8,000 into
Yes,
24 into 60 into 60.
yes. It's straightforward that. So you can, if the that is provide asked per year, per annum or something, then you can multiply with the number of working days of the plant, because sometimes what happens in water treatment plants, there are shutdowns, there are also uh, equipment damage may be there, shutdown for maintenance purpose, shutdown for repairing purpose, many things may occur. So more or less it is considered that in a plant, if nothing is given and the question is asked that what is the your per annum, what is the demand, then you can assume 330 working days per year, but please mention your assumption in the problem. That is the thing. But see, the thing is that NPTEL may mostly, I think the questions will be your MCQ type questions. If certain uh, descriptive questions are answered, then you can answer like that. Okay. So The answer is the actually whoever gave the answer earlier, it was actually the total water that needs to be sent for treatment. 1 lakh or 80,000, somebody get the answer. So you are right, but it was effectively gave the second answer, but it's okay. It's straightforward questions, nothing difficult. Now, let's come to the third question. The treatment train with the membrane processes. Okay.
No, sir. Second question is still not answered. Water to be sent for treatment. That means we will have to deduct consumption and then treatment. We want wastewater to be treated.
Yes, but the thing is that here we have assumed whatever water is being treated, that is being supplied with zero loss inside the pipes, and whatever maybe RO reject may be there. So those things losses we are considering as zero. If we consider the loss, then that will be mentioned in the problem.
No,
That's we
sir.
consider.
Total water demand 135 include drinking water by individual. So whatever we drink, that is consumed. So it will not be converted into wastewater or the water to be sent for treatment. We will have to have some percentage. I don't know that. But if 135 include drinking, washing, clothing,
Yes.
bathing, so we have to deduct something, no?
Yes, you are right. But the thing is that that must be provided in the problem. If it is not there, then you can assume, if you are assuming that, you can write that thing that you see, I am assuming this amount of water for drinking, for washing clothes and these purposes. And if you are not assuming something, then whatever given in the problem, you can directly use that. No problem with that. Okay, so does that clarify your query? Let me check whether. Okay, somebody has asked. Can you tell the name? Okay, yes, cloud seeding. Somebody answered just this silver iodide. But yes, if some, I can get some other chemicals names and also the functionalities. I will come into the. I'll take those things and I will talk about those things in the later discussion sessions. Okay, so okay, 1,80,000. That is. So let's come to the next question, that is the treatment train with membrane process. Basically, it is asking what type of membrane must be used for the that is called your for this scenario. So we have to understand first the membrane process characteristics. There are actually basically four types of membranes. One is microfiltration or micron filtration, another one is ultrafiltration, another one is nanofiltration, and the last one is reverse osmosis. As somebody has told in the earlier slides that reverse osmosis process makes us dehydrated, though it is not. Our osmosis process makes us dehydrated if we drink water. But the thing is that reverse osmosis is used for desalination purposes, because the ions which are very small, that is, those are the monovalent ions like the potassium chloride KCl or the sodium chloride NaCl. Those types of ions gets filtered in the RO membranes. There is a concept of osmotic pressure, but we will not go much deeper into those things in the preliminary classes, preliminary introduction sessions. So those things also get filtered in reverse osmosis process. In nanofiltration process, monovalent ions cannot be filtered, but multivalent ions, just like calcium ions, calcium chloride, calcium fluoride, bivalent, trivalent, those kinds of salts or ions can be filtered in case of nanofiltration. In case of ultrafiltration, no ions or water can pass through the ultrafiltration membrane. Only viruses, bacteria and suspended solids. Sorry, sorry, excuse me. The water, monovalent ions and multivalent ions can pass through, but virus, bacteria, and suspended solid cannot. In case of micron filtration or microfiltration, viruses will pass through the membrane. So, from RO to MF or microfiltration, the pore size of the membrane increases. So, what may be the range of the pore sizes? In case of the term actually refers to that. So, it is microfiltration so the pore sizes will be around 10 to the power minus 6 meter, because micro means that ultrafiltration, the pore size will be around 10 to the power minus 7 or 8 meter, and in case of nanofiltration, the pores of the membranes will be 10 to the power minus around 10 to the power minus 9 meter or so. And if it is less than that, because it is minus, so 1 divided by 10 to the power 9 actually. So in case of reverse osmosis, it will be 10 to the power less than 10 to the power minus 10 meter or so. So no, in the above cases like microfiltration or ultrafiltration, only the sieving mechanisms play role for the separation process or separation of the particles from the water. But in case of nanofiltration or RO, not only the sieving mechanism but also other things like pore diffusion and many other theories are there which takes place for the separation process, for the separation to occur. But it is also there that the RO mechanism is not yet fully understood. What makes the actually the what actually apart from sieving and apart from the that is called pore diffusion mechanisms, many actually research is still going on this NF and RO area. NF can nanofiltration can separate the multivalent ions, that means the calcium ions, calcium chloride, and these ions causes hardness in water. What is hardness? Basically, sometimes if you directly use water from natural sources, there after use or after uh, certain number of cycles of use, maybe 5 or 7, you may see that in your steel or in your metal pot there has been certain white deposits. Those are nothing but the multivalent ions present in the water. So those ions causes the hardness, and nanofiltration is employed for separation of the multivalent ions, that means the separation of the hardness from the water. And the microfiltration or ultrafiltration are used for the disinfection. That means only the biological aspects, either if viruses is there, you have to use ultrafiltration. If viruses are not there, you can use microfiltration. Sometimes for water treatment, UV is also used, ultraviolet or ozone. Those are required for what happens if ozone or uh, that is called UV is used. So UV or ozone has a potential to disrupt or destroy the membrane structures of the bacteria or viral cells. So we know, as 10 plus level knowledge we have studied, that the bacteria and viruses cells are prepared with the help of protein, lipid protein or protein mosaic design structures. So with the help of protein and fat, actually their surface areas are covered. So if we use the UV or ozone, two things happens. Sometimes it may disrupt the cell wall or cell membrane. Sometimes it also damages the genetic material that is present inside the nucleus of the bacteria or viral cells. So in that way, UV or ozone can treat the water, but in microfiltration or ultrafiltration, actually it separates out the bacteria or virus from the water. Okay, so let's come to the question. Now, as we have solved the number 1 and number 2 question, so let's come to the number 3. What is the treatment trend with the membrane processes? In this case, here only suspended and bacterial impurities are treated. Okay, so let me see whether there is any answer in the. Okay, the answer is visible. Yes, it's microfiltration. Somebody says we are dealing with water treatment, not wastewater. Yes, that is true. So yes, a good question. Ajim Shooter has asked a very good question. So the thing is that okay, we need discussion on that. So we'll discuss. As most of you correctly guessed, it is basically microfiltration process, because only suspended and bacterial impurities are present inside the water. Now somebody has asked a very good question that uh, wastewater treatment and water treatment uh, actually needs some certain clarifications. So in a industry, what happens that industry uses the water, and after use they uh, actually throw that water into the natural water bodies or so. So there are certain norms, environmental norms, which are there that you cannot directly dispose of the water into the natural bodies, because it may harm the biodiversity, or that is called the water quality, because human will also be either human will also be using that water for their domestic purposes also. So if we just throw that water, it will directly pollute the environment. But regarding water treatment, so there are actually two types of water treatment. One is upstream water treatment and another one is downstream water treatment. So upstream water treatment actually employed whenever before the use, whenever I am taking that water directly from natural resources, then I have to treat that water. For example, there are certain power industries. In those power industries, if they directly use the natural water, their boiler will be damaged. There actually scales will be formed inside their boiler tubes, which are there for the actually above the tubes the water gets boiled, and the salts gets deposited on the tube. Over time the tube's thickness is increased, and the heat transfer coefficient gets reduced, and the actually due to overheating or due to localized heating, the tubes gets breakdown. So before the use also, we have to treat the water, that is the upstream water treatment, and after use we have to treat the water, that is called the downstream water treatment. But the it is actually basically in from industry point of view. But as we saw in the earlier slide, that either cities can be provided with piped water supply also, and sewerage system that is existing or contemplated, that can be also used for the meeting the water demand of the cities. And also certain industry if their water is not that much polluted, if that is meeting the requirement, that is meeting all the environmental norms, or that is meeting the inlet requirement of any water treatment and any domestic water treatment plant, then that can also be used for domestic water supply. So the thing is that the output or the treated wastewater of a plant can of an industry can be the input of other domestic water treatment plant. So from that perspective, both wastewater treatment and upstream water treatment are relevant, because if you are directly supplying domestic water from natural resources like river, etc., rivers or lakes, etc., then you have to employ the upstream treatment methodology. And if you are using wastewater or used water from another place to meet that demand, then you have to design your plan accordingly. So both treatment technology are relevant, because we don't know from where our actually the uh, demand is made, from where is the source of water. Depending on the source of water, the quality parameters of the water are actually analyzed, and based on that actually the plant is designed. So this is not a treatment plant basically, neither the uh, or upstream, neither not downstream. So this is basically a distribution system which is taking care of the amount of water flow. But whenever the membrane process comes into the picture, then we have to select the membrane such that the whatever the impurities that is present in the water, those are removed, or those are removed such that the outlet quality is maintained. So regarding the quality of water, that what is the drinking parameters, pH, the concentration of the actually the concentration of the suspended particles and bacterial impurities are measured in terms of CFUs, or colony forming units. So these aspects, what must be the concentration of monovalent and what must be the concentration of the bivalent ions, those actually we'll discuss later in the course of time. So this is just a basic, because those assignments based on those detailed aspects I would not be discussing in the first class. Okay, so now somebody has correctly told that it is microfiltration membrane, because only suspended and bacterial impurities are used in this case. Now a question comes into the picture: why not the others? Because microfiltration can separate bacteria and suspended particles, but all the other treatment methodologies like ultrafiltration, nanofiltration, reverse osmosis, they also can separate the viruses and bacteria and suspended solids from the water. So microfiltration as well as the other processes can also be employed in this case, but why only microfiltration? That is my question. Let's see what the people are typing in their chat box. Yes, somebody is saying drinking water standard is IS. Yes, it is true. It is Indian standard. Who has certain different standards? Deal. German standards are Deutschland standards is different, and British standards is separate. But sometimes they also overlap. Sometimes the statistical data is also used. Sometimes how people are responding by taking different parameters of water, that is also taken into the picture. So many aspects come into the picture. Based on that, actually these standards are designed. Actually we'll come into those things in later classes, but standards we'll discuss. Yes, effluent treatment standard is CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, and also state has got their own control boards, like there in West Bengal, that is West Bengal Pollution Control Board. In uh, Maharashtra, as I am from IIT Bombay, so there They are probably MPCB, I think, Maharashtra Pollution Control Board or something is there. I forgot. So state has also got their own control aspects. They also tests, and what happens that sometimes state norms are more stringent, sometimes they are lenient. So it depends on the uh, uh, geopolitical aspects, and many other factors are there. Based on that, actually these standards are designed. As we remove fine impurities, the treatment cost exactly within the treatment. So RO costs more than micropollution exactly. So the cost, because the course is what are economics and governance. So the economics we have to keep in the mind. So the thing is that not only the treatment, energy cost is high. That is the major reason. That's why the RO, NF, and ultrafiltration are not used. Not only that, but also the design methodology, how you uh, uh, fabricate the membrane, the fabricating materials. So what happens in case of nanofiltration or reverse osmosis? The material is you use for that is called your fabrication of the membranes. Those materials are costlier than manufacturing cost of the micropollution ultrafiltration membrane. So many cost is the major aspect, as Ajim, I guess, Ajim correctly answered. So uh, economics is the main reason for which microfiltration is preferred on the other over the other things. But if virus is present, if ions are present, and if that exceeds the range for domestic consumption, then we have to employ the other treatment methodologies. But membrane, as I have said, as my research area is specialized on membrane, that's why I'm discussing on membrane. But membranes are not very conventional treatment methodologies. There are other methodologies also for upstream and downstream treatment as well, just like ion exchange, and also coagulation, flocculation. These methods are also employed for upstream as well as downstream water treatment also. If somebody is interested on that, if somebody has question on that, then we can discuss. But for the course of time, as the problem says, so this is the answer. Okay. So as we have almost spent 1 hour and 15 minutes, we will take a 5-minute break, and we will rejoin at sharp 7:20. Okay. So 7:20, you are supposed to join the same link, and we will start from where we left off. Anybody has got any question? We can discuss in the meantime. And if I am going too fast, then if somebody has any problem, then they can say. Maybe somebody is experiencing that it is very slow for them if they have knowledge on the water treatment area. But we have to take care of all these students. So if somebody is feeling that I'm going fast, then they can say. But I guess I'm pretty much standard, because this is the first session. So okay, so we will join. We'll rejoin the meeting at sharp 7:20. And if somebody has any question, they can ask.
So, no, so actually, our video lectures, lecture material, assignment, all were related with our water economics, no, or water governance. This is, I think, out of scope of our program.
Hello, can I share my views? Can I share my views for 2 minutes? Can I share my views for around 2 minutes? No view or my feedback. Yeah, actually, yeah, okay. Actually, this feedback can be from the other co-participants also, because as a participant, active participant, we look forward that the questions put into the assignments are more tougher as per the study materials provided, because they do not cover under those study materials, like problem solving into the first assignment. So there are many numericals which are not covered into the study material. So we were expecting into this session that those questions can be covered or so. Yeah, you're most welcome.
The problem is not of the difficulty level, sir. Problem is of syllabus. The first week lecture matter, whatever first week lecture matter or assignment are there, or say your test exams, those syllabus related problems will be more useful. Yes, sir, you can just go to assignment one and look the syllabus of program cover.